Hey guys, how's it going? Please don't mind the crazy hair. I'm taking y'all on a crazy adventure today. So I went on a field trip to the serial killer exhibit, the serial killer world tour. I took some images. I'm gonna walk you through some of the pieces. It was really cool, and I'll show you the book I got. But first, I want to say, please, viewer discretion is advised because it was pretty graphic. The exhibit, they said, don't bring any kids under the age of 14 unless there's parent supervision. Honestly, there were crime scene reconstructions. There were like fake corpses hanging from the ceiling. There were like medical dummies, autopsy tables, and a straight up bloody bath. There were objects that belonged to the serial killers, and some of them you could tell were used on humans. There were blood stains, etc. So proceed with caution, and if you don't want to see the following images, I'll see you next week. Bye! Alright guys, let's go. Looks like there was a Napoleon thing going on next door. So first thing I want to say is this exhibit did a really good job at keeping the victims in mind. As you can see here, a lot of victims' pictures. This is when you first walk in. I think that was Ted Bundy's car. But yeah, they built the expo around the victims, and they did a really good job at staying very factual and not hyping up the serial killers, so kudos to them. So when you first walk in, they introduce the concept of what a serial killer even is, how the concept came to be, and then you walk through rooms that have different serial killer themes. So usually it's by murder type. So are they cannibals? Did they murder in pairs? Did they keep their victims' bodies, etc.? It's very well done. There are a lot of objects, some, belonging to the serial killers. Some of them they made, some of them were glasses, to letters, to some of them are room reconstructions. So there was, I believe, John Wayne Gacy's kitchen. I think the other one was Jeffrey Dahmer's kitchen. There were some murder scenes reconstructed, which I didn't include in this video because it's pretty graphic, so just in case. And there were dummies positioned in the way that some victims were found. One thing that was very interesting was towards the end, there was a room dedicated to the whole medical aspect of it. So what medically goes on inside a serial killer's brain, how investigators can determine what type of murder weapon is used on a victim, how they kind of go about the autopsies and everything. It's very interesting. And then towards the end, there's a room dedicated to letters that the killers wrote either during their killings or after, when they were maybe in prison or on death row or whatever. And it's very interesting because something in common between them. Like, you look at the handwriting, and there's something in common. I don't know, it's very eerie. Towards the end, there is also a room dedicated to death row and the death penalty and different types of death penalties. So the electric chair, the gas chamber, death by lethal injection. And it's very interesting because they also show you what countries have legalized the death penalty, which ones have used it the most. And it sparked a really cool conversation between my friend and I about the, ethics behind the death penalty. But all in all, I loved this expo. I thought it was really well done and definitely not for everyone. I would advise to proceed with caution. If you're gonna go see this one, make sure you're in the right state of mind. But yeah, totally recommend. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the tour. Here, like I said, is the book I got. So I got the French version. They're on a world tour. I'm not sure exactly what other countries they're doing. I know they did London and the UK. Anyway, I'll link their website in the description if you're curious. So this is From Victim to Bourreau is, killer boy, I forget what the exact translation is, but what's really cool is that so everything that is in the exhibit you can find it here, but what I really liked is that there was a whole section dedicated to French serial killers. And I'm assuming they're going to do the same, like whatever country they're going to be in, they're going to adapt it to the same country. And there is a part here that is dedicated to French serial killers. This exhibit I thought was really cool. There were QR codes a little bit everywhere and you could scan it and do the audio, but it wasn't like 45-minute, whatever, 30-minute audios that like you might find during audio guided tours in museums. These were like 1 or 2 minute snippets that you could just listen to, move on to the next one, and you didn't necessarily have to listen to all of them. I thought it was really cool for one because I personally, when I'm in an exhibit, I don't like reading text too much because I like seeing the objects and, you know, whatever. Also, it is a pretty text intensive tour, I guess, which is fine because if you get the book, like I said, everything in here or in the exhibit is here, so you could read it later. So yeah, it was just overall a really fun exhibit, and if you have the stomach for it, definitely check it out if it's coming to a place near you. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.